Welcome back to the channel where you're following along with my 5k 10k sort of training, hoping to get a race booked in the future. So what have we got in this week's video? We've had some great weather this week, so I've had the opportunity to get out at some fantastic places to run, and I've been supporting the Derby half at the weekend. Stay tuned for more. Unfortunately, I hadn't brought my sat-nav with me on Monday's run. This run was an 8-mile run conducted at an easy pace, so Andy showed me some of the new trails that have been built around one of the lakes up Swadway, and then we followed a wonderful path back along a farmer's track, so I'll be coming up in the next few clips. And this was the farmer's track back to the estate, so what a great place to run on. It was a little bit softer underfoot and a little bit more forgiving on your joints, so it's often a good idea to take a bit of weight off your joints and not be pounding the pavements all week long. I then ran on Tuesday evening, so back-to-back days there, just ran a steady 7-mile run, that was sort of low 7-minute mile pace. So I'm down here tonight at my local track, doing my session on the good red stuff tonight. So I've just been coaching a session at my club, South Derbyshire, and I thought that I can't give them a mean 12-minute continuous tempo run without trying it myself. So this is something called the Cooper test. I probably first did it in PE, kicking and screaming, forced to do it, but now I'm actually doing it off my own back. So it's a good predictor of, you can get a rough score of your VO2 Max score from this Cooper test if you plug a few numbers into a formula. So I'm looking forward to seeing how I get on and put the numbers together. I've just finished a couple of laps warm up, a little bit extra just walking back to the start line now. So going to start this 12-minute run. Let's see how we get on. So that's the 12-minute run done. I did get 8 laps in, which works out at 3,200 meters, which is bang on 2 miles in proper money. So I'm going to plug that into the calculator when I get back, but I have a feeling, looking at when I did these results last year with the group, that's a pretty good score, so I'm quite chuffed with how that went. So the next part of the session I'm going to do, now I've recovered a little bit, I'm going to do some 400s at sort of my flat out maximal pace. So I'll be having quite a bit of rest on these. I'm not going to put a strict measure on how much rest I have. So trying to get those 400s around those low 70 mark, which I've been aiming for in the past sort of sessions that I've been doing this kind of work on. So I'm going to try and bank at least 4. If I can get to 6, that would be a really good session, doubling up with the 12 minutes tempo. First one back, and that was an 80, so I don't think this session, the last bit of a session, is going to go as well as the first bit. So I think it's just going to be the 4 and try and get as close to the 80 as I can.
The next day.
So I didn't actually get to the end of that track session last night. You're now joining me on Thursday. Still feels like Wednesday with a bank holiday, but I got to 2 reps and realised I was running out of time a bit as the centre was shutting. I had quick time to get a shower and then had a massage that evening as well, which was nice. So yeah, back on it today. Gonna do 2 shorter runs today, sort of a 4 or 5 mile on my own, and then a 6 mile with the lads at lunch, and that should be it for today. So I'm not really too fond of cows, and it looks like The local farmer has put all these cows in the field on my route. How dare he? I met Steve and Jacob for a run on Thursday lunchtime, so this was a couple of days out from the Derby Ramathon, the half marathon they were running on Sunday. So it's nice to catch up with them, see how they're feeling ahead of the race and have a little spin out. I decided to take Friday as a rest day from running. I'd done 4 consecutive days since I got over my illness, and decided to give myself a bit of a rest, although I was meant to do a session on Friday. I headed to the Peak District with Jacob, Al and Andy, and we decided to do a bit of wild camping. Unfortunately couldn't manage to spend the night because the rangers kicked us off, but it was nice to see the views of the sunset. Ideally, if I'd have been able to spend the night at the campsite at Bamford Edge, it was looking over Ladybower Reservoir. So the idea was to camp there and then run here in the morning. However, I had to do this in 2 trips, so it was well worth the view to go. It's a great place to run at Ladybower Reservoir. And if you do stay tuned next week, I will be releasing this as a separate video in itself, as it was just 2 good views to miss out on, and there's a little bit of history behind the route as well, which is included in the video. So had a fantastic run on Sunday. That was a long run, the longest run I've done in a while at 16.5 miles, so really pleased to sort of build that fitness back up and get the long run up to around the 2-hour mark. So back to the car and change now after that 16.5 miles it turned out, and a little bit of a recovery tip: chocolate milk. So it's got the same sort of electrolytes you'd have in like a recovery shake, same sort of protein. It's a lot cheaper, and you can get it down a lot easier. Just get a bit of protein in after your workout, within that sort of half an hour when you can't really stomach too much solid food. So quick little tip to get you recovered and back on your feet again. It's now Sunday and I've come out to support the Derby Half Marathon that's going on this morning. So that wraps it up from a training perspective this week in terms of my own running. Did manage 45 miles, bit of a long run in there. The positives was getting that long run up to 16.5 miles at about 2 hours worth of long run. I was really pleased with, sorry about the cough, but unfortunately today tried to get out this morning, but a little bit too much on the chest still to go out for a session. So it's really something I'm going to try and work on next week, get those sessions in, as I only did the 1 session as the Cooper test on Wednesday. So yeah, a couple more sessions next week, but the positive thing is I've got that long run back up and I've got a bit of general fitness back, so it should make it easier to get out and hit those times in the sessions. So thanks for watching this week. It's been great week of training, and yeah, plenty packed in there with the camping too. So see you in the next one.